This week I've had two people message me asking me where I purchased my blades from my Rutland's benchtop planer. I've never actually purchased any blades for this. What I do is I sharpen myself. So that's the video that we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is, and you're not going to believe it. It's so simple. For the past year I've sharpened these probably on 3 occasions. I use this little machine quite a lot, and I do the exact same in my thickness over there as well. So the first thing we need to do is we need to remove the fence, and the fence on mine is just screwed on and I've just unscrewed it. It's a homemade fence because the fence that you normally get with these is shockingly bad. So the first thing that we've got to do in here is we've just got to release these bolts. We've got the blade here and then we've got the bolts here which just tighten it into place. So all we're going to do is release these, and they just release the tension on the blade, and then it should just slide out. This planer's got 2 blades in it. When you take these bolts out, make sure that you put them in a clean, dry, safe place so you don't lose out. And if you're a bit concerned that you might forget how things go back together, take a photograph of the assembly before you take it apart, and then that way you'll know exactly how it goes back together. So this is all just going to slide out now. And I'm just going to put the assembly and all the bolts and washers in there. And as you can see, this has just got some dust and bits of sap and stuff on there, so I'll give all that a good clean. This one wasn't done too long ago, so it's not too bad. Right, here's the blade itself, so I'm going to go sharpen that now. Going back a step, you know your blades will need sharpening when you feel more resistance when you're pushing the timber through, when the volume is getting a lot louder than usual. That's one of the big things for me. It sounds a lot louder, and then you're going to get vibration as well, lots of heavy vibration, and that normally means the blades are really blunt and the time to be sharpened. Now, just a little caveat on this when you're sharpening them this way: if you've got any big divots in there, say you've hit any nails or anything like that, then that's not really going to work for this. You'll need to replace them blades. But this is just your general purpose sharpening and maintaining them. So what you're going to need then, you're going to need your blade. We've got a diamond stone, which is 600 grit and 1200 grit. We've got some 3-in-1 oil and some rag. The first thing that you do is you just clean up the bottom and make sure it's nice and flat. So all we're going to do is pop a bit of oil on, place the blade on, and just rub it up and down, making sure it's all nice and flat. Making sure that we do it nice and evenly across the full blade. This will only take about 20 to 30 swipes across, and then that should be good enough. I'm just going to turn it over and polish it up a bit on the 1200. And I'm just going to clean that off. I can see it's nice and shiny now. Right, back to the other side. So what you need to do now is find your bevel here. There are a large substantial bevel on these, so it's easy to locate. And then all you're going to do is you're going to find that bevel by feel. So you're just going to roll it over until you feel it nice and flat, like so. Then all you're going to do is move it from side to side. Backwards and forwards, side to side. I normally do 2 one direction to the next, and I'm keeping the pressure evenly spread all the way across the blade. If I'm doing my thickness of blades, which are a lot longer than these, I need to be a bit more careful that I'm applying that same pressure along the full blade, sliding it up and down. A lot easier on these ones because they're smaller. And all I'm going to do now is keep working it until I feel a little bare on that side. Find that bevel again. There you go, I can feel a little bare forming now. I'm just going to go a little bit more on this side, and then I'm going to swap it over. Swap over to the 1200 side. Go again. Super simple, isn't it? I bet you didn't think you could do this with these type of blades. I've been doing this for about a year now, and it's worked absolutely perfectly. And now I'm just going to take off that bare by putting it back on its flat side. And that's it, ready to go back in. Simple as that. And that's about as much as it takes when you keep on top of them. Now, if you haven't done this for a long while, Might take a little bit longer than that. This bit can be a little bit fiddly, but just bear with it. Right, one thing as well when you're sharpening these blades, it's similar to when you sharpen your blades for your lathe. They don't need to be super highly polished sharp. So when you sharpen your chisels, you need to get them really sharp, don't you, to be able to cut through the timber. But with these type of blades, because of the revolutions that the machine's spinning at, it's going that fast and it's that powerful, it's doing so much of the work. So these don't need to be nowhere near as sharp as your chisels to get the same effect. So sharpening like that is relatively easily compared. And like I say, it's the same as when you're using lathe chisels. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to pop it back together, and say yours might be the same as this if you've got the same model, or it might be slightly different. But I'm just going to hook them little lugs back onto the blade there. Inside I've got two small springs, and these just allow me to adjust the blade so I can get it to the perfect height here for cutting. Then we're just going to place the whole assembly back in. This can be a bit fiddly. What you're going to do is you're going to get a block of wood, place it onto the centre of the blade. That way it's going to push your blade down so it's at the same height as your in-feed table. Because what you want is you want to wound your in-feed table all the way up so it's taking zero off. That way everything's going to be nicely aligned, so when you raise or lower the out-feed table, it takes off the corresponding amount. And all you're going to do is tighten the two outside ones up first. And once the outside two are fastened up, then you'll be able to take the piece of wood off and tighten the inside too. Rotate it around, make sure nothing catches. Then we're going to do a test run. Got an old piece of timber here, what we found on site the other day when we was demolishing a building. No idea what it is, but let's see if it looks nice inside. Right then, let's test the planer. Perfectly square.